Salut et comment allez-vous mes amis? It's been a while since the last video. In the meantime, a lot has happened, a lot has not, but what's important is that we're back on track with an all-new recipe. Today's recipe was requested by a gourmand with impeccable taste, as this dish is getting more and more popular and known amongst tourists in Vietnam. Bánh. They're dumplings with a translucent skin made from tapioca flour, and they contain a delicious filling of caramelized chicken and prawns. Let's have a look at how these mysterious looking dumplings are made. This recipe yields about 2 servings if you'd like to have this as a filling dish, or 4 to 5 servings if you'd like to serve the dumplings as a snack or a starter. For the wrappers, we're going to need 400 grams or 14 ounces of tapioca flour, which equals 1 package, as well as 250 to 270 ml of boiling hot water. To make the filling, we'll need 180 grams or 6 ounces of chicken breast, 180 grams or 6 ounces of prawns, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 chopped cloves of garlic, 2 stems of spring onion, 2 tablespoons of oil, and 1 tablespoon of hột điều màu or annatto seeds. For the optional mỡ hành, we'll need spring onion to taste, as well as cooking oil also to taste. The hột điều or annatto seeds are used in the Vietnamese cuisine as a way to add color to dishes in a natural way. If you can't get a hold of these seeds, you can substitute them with industrial food coloring, or you could also leave the coloring out completely. This is the tapioca flour I'm using today. It doesn't matter which brand it's from, I'm just showing you what the packaging looks like. Read the labeling carefully before purchasing, as tapioca flour looks the same as rice and glutinous rice flour. Before I'm starting with the preparations for the filling and the wrappers, I'll quickly make some mỡ hành. It's basically just scallions slightly sauteed in a generous amount of oil, which gives some extra flavor to the dish. Wash about 3 stalks of spring onions and cut them into rings. Heat up 2 to 3 tablespoons of flavor-neutral oil, or as much as you like, in a skillet over high. Then saute the scallion rings for about a minute until they get softer and give off flavor to the oil. Don't keep them on the heat for too long or they lose their fresh and vibrant color. Transfer to a bowl and let it cool off. Now let's prep the filling. I've rinsed the chicken breast under clean running water, and now I'm cutting it into the pieces, roughly the length and width of one segment of my pinky. Then I'm going to prepare the prawns. Use medium to small sized prawns for this dish, as we're going to cut them up. Using beautiful and big prawns would really be a waste. Get rid of the legs and leave the shell on. You can actually eat the shell. If you absolutely can't stand it, you can devein and peel the prawns, but I highly recommend you to try it with the shell. It gives the dish a whole different taste, and well, you might want to try this dish the way it's traditionally made. Talking about traditional, personally, I like to pre-cut the prawns using a good pair of scissors into 2 or 3 pieces depending on their size. And we don't want the tail part. Traditionally, you will cut them up after the caramelizing process. I, however, find that cutting them up earlier makes them absorb the sauce more easily and speeds up the sauteing process. Anyways, once you've cut the chicken and the prawns into the right size, you'll want to prepare your food coloring. If you are using industrial food coloring, you can skip this step. Heat up about 2 tablespoons of canola oil in your skillet until hot. Stick a wooden spoon or bamboo stick into the oil to check if it has the right frying temperature. When it's throwing bubbles like this, you can add the hột điều to the oil. Cover your skillet or your cooking pot and wait for the seeds to make popping sounds. When they do, remove the skillet from the heat source, let it cool down and pour the coloring oil through a strainer into an appropriate container for later use. Moving on to the filling. Generously cover the surface of your skillet with flavor-neutral cooking oil and turn the heat on high. Once it has reached frying temperature, reduce the heat to medium, stir fry the chopped garlic until golden, and add the chicken meat. Saute until they're done and add the prawns. Adding them too early would cause massive shrinking of the prawns, which also influences their texture in a negative way. Add the sugar and the fish sauce on top and stir fry the ingredients until the sauce has vaporized and is mostly sticking to the meat and the prawns. Transfer to another bowl and combine the filling with the previously prepared food coloring to give it a more appealing finish. Before we start making the dough for the wrappers, divide the tapioca flour into 2 portions of 150 grams or 1/3 of a pound and 250 grams, either half a pound or the rest of the bag. Heat up the water in a water boiler or old school style in a pot over the stove. Keep in mind that some of the water may have evaporated in the heating process and that you will need at least 250 ml or 1 cup of boiling hot water in the end. Also, you really need boiling hot water as the dough doesn't come together the way we want it to with cold or warm water. Add the hot water to the 150 grams or that third pound of tapioca flour and start to stir vigorously for half a minute. Gradually add the rest of the tapioca flour and continue to stir. After having added more of the flour for 2 times, you can carefully poke the dough with a finger to see if you can handle the dough without burning yourself. If you can, start to knead the dough while continuing to add the tapioca flour. Once the dough comes together, you can start rolling out your wrappers. Cover your dough with cling foil to prevent it from drying out too fast. Block out a piece of dough the size of a table tennis ball and roll it out with your rolling pin. The wrapper should have a width of about 1 to 1.5 millimeters or 1/16 of an inch. Also, try to get the wrapper as round as you can. Put some of the filling into the center, fold the dumpling wrapper in half, and seal it by crimping the edges with a fork. You can optionally use a knife to cut away excess dough. If you'd like to make them even prettier, you can roll out the dough as you did before to stencil out a perfectly round wrapper with the mug. Once again, crimp the edge with a fork and there you have your perfect dumpling. Repeat until you run out of dough. In a pot, bring some water to a boil over high, then put in a couple of dumplings and cook for 5 minutes until they are starting to get translucent. Use a spider to get them out of the water and place them into a bowl or onto a plate which you have previously greased with oil. This will prevent them from sticking. Lastly, add some mahan, aka fragrant scallion and oil on top and serve with the fish sauce dip. Click on the box if you'd like to see how the fish sauce dip is made. Otherwise, I wish you bon appetit. So, as I already mentioned, bánh bột lọc can be enjoyed as a filling dish, as a starter, or as a snack in between meals. The Vietnamese cuisine offers so many things you can nibble on when you have the munchies, or when you're in the mood for a light snack. And that's exactly why I love Vietnamese food so much. Also, since this is made with tapioca flour, these dumplings are totally gluten-free. If you have any questions, suggestions, or if you'd simply like to say hi, then leave me a message in the comment section down below. If you liked this video, then please remember to give it a thumbs up and to share it with other food enthusiasts. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more recipes of Asian cuisine and international patisserie. Thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen this week. I'll probably have a new recipe prepared for you until next Friday. If I don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And hey, if you're proud of your recreation, then post it on Instagram or Twitter and tag me. I always love to see your creations. So, see you next time. À la prochaine!